It was a golden afternoon at Shelley Cove, with the sun boldly casting its glow over the endless expanse of turquoise waves. The sound of seagulls harmonized with the rhythmic splash of water along the shoreline. On the golden sands, a group of eccentric yet delightful peanuts congregated, their bodies adorned with tiny sunglasses, straw hats, and brightly colored beach gear, as they prepared for the ultimate action-packed day. "All right, team," said Crunch, the fearless leader of the Peanut Brigade, his shell a little more rugged than the others. "Today, we're not just here to lay on towels and sip coconut water. We're here to train, to push ourselves, to prepare for anything this world throws at us." The crew cheered enthusiastically. Each peanut had a unique personality that set them apart, making their group an unstoppable nutty force. There was Butter, the tech-savvy peanut armed with a waterproof gadget that looked suspiciously like a grappling hook disguised as a parasol. Then there was Shellshock, the overly cautious member who always carried around a miniature first aid kit. And finally, Honey, the fearless daredevil always up for a challenge, already waxing her boogie board for some massive waves. Crunch gestured toward the obstacle course they had set up earlier in the day. An intricate arrangement of beach chairs, driftwood planks, floating pool noodles, and sandcastle towers. This, my fellow peanuts, is no ordinary beach day. This is Operation Salted Escape. We're going to train like the action heroes we are. Butter adjusted his gadget sunglasses. "Honestly, Crunch, it's highly unlikely we're going to get in a life-or-shell situation out here. I mean, it's the beach. Chill." "Complacency is the enemy, Butter," Crunch countered, his tiny peanut fists on his hips. "We can't rest until we're ready for anything. Robberies, kidnappings, or even, heaven forbid, angry seagulls. Now move out." Reluctantly, the peanuts began the obstacle course. Honey was first, sprinting over the beach chairs with impressive agility, her straw hat somehow remaining in place. Shellshock navigated cautiously, repeatedly pausing to apply sunscreen and check his surroundings. Butter reluctantly joined in, using his grappling hook parasol to fantastically swing across the driftwood plank bridge. Suddenly, there was a commotion from the shoreline. A massive shadow passed overhead, and a flock of seagulls descended upon the peanuts with sharp cries and even sharper beaks. At their helm, a particularly menacing seagull with a jagged scar across his beak, the notorious Captain Beak. The seagulls aimed straight for the peanuts' snack stash. "It's an ambush!" yelled Shellshock, hurling himself behind a sandcastle. "We're doomed!" Crunch's eyes narrowed. "This is it. This is what we've trained for, team." He grabbed his beach towel like a cape and launched himself into action. "Defend the snack stash!" Honey Dove, wrapping her boogie board in seaweed as an impromptu shield. Butter frantically assembled a barricade of pool noodles, while Shellshock reluctantly armed himself with a squirt gun filled with lemonade. Captain Beak cackled menacingly. "Those snacks are ours, you salty little morsels," he screeched, leading his winged army into battle. Butter shouted directions as the chaos erupted. "Honey, flank left. Crunch, watch out for the dive-bombing gull. Oh no, now they're going for the sunscreen supply." The peanuts fought valiantly. Honey spun her boogie board like a propeller, creating a wall of sand to temporarily obscure the seagull's vision. Crunch used his makeshift cape like a whip, skillfully driving away one gull after another. Shellshock, in a surprising fit of bravery, squirted lemonade directly at Captain Beak's face, blinding the menacing bird for a critical moment. But the battle wasn't over yet. Captain Beak screeched in fury, signaling for the flock to regroup. "You may have escaped our first wave, peanuts, but you'll never survive the squall." Before the seagulls could dive again, Butter pressed a button on his gadget parasol. "Initiating Plan Nutstorm," he yelled. The umbrella's metallic wings flared out, creating a dazzling light that reflected off the foamy waves. The seagulls, bewildered and momentarily blinded by the brilliance, were forced to retreat. The peanuts stood in silence as the dust, or rather, sand, settled. The beach was theirs once again. Crunch looked around at his team, sweat glistening on their shells. "We did it," he said, lifting his towel in victory. "That's why we train, folks." Honey let out a loud laugh. "That was wild. I'm calling that a 5-star beach day." Butter adjusted his gadget sunglasses with a smug grin. "Told you my invention would come in handy." Shellshock breathed a heavy sigh of relief, plopping down on a beach chair. "I'm just glad we all made it out alive." The peanuts gathered together and toasted with little coconut glasses of lemonade, the setting sun painting the horizon in hues of pink and gold. They may have come to the beach for a restful day, but they left as legends, nuts with nerves of steel and hearts full of adventure. From that day forward, Shelley Cove would forever echo with whispers of the great Peanut Seagull standoff.